So, another game of my weird handlock. We'll see how this goes. Against the Warrior, there are only a few kinds of decks nowadays, but some people might play the Deathwing control version against Patron. Um, but most people just want to practice Patron, I believe, because it is definitely um, in the top 5 decks, uh, if not the top 3 for sure. So, you know, most people, even myself, I mean, I don't really play a lot of Patron, but whenever I do, I always want to do a warm up in casual mode, or even just play a few games in casual, just to warm up Patron decks. So, in terms of mulligan, I think I'm just gonna toss the Sylvanas, because my hand lock's different. Kazan doesn't help against the warrior, so it's just a creature, but it's a creature nonetheless that doesn't buff. I mean, the patron warrior has to work on his own to get patrons spawns, unless he's one of those patrons where they would play the previously not yet refined version where they played the commanding shout. Then all my minions would help them spawn patrons, which is a bad thing. Coin? Really? Wow. You do realize if you're playing against double ooze handlock, double ooze versus handlock, you're gonna get punished for that. That's not a very good play. I mean, ooze you want to hit on Death's Bite for sure, but the way that he coined on purpose, that's just bad. Especially early game, you don't even want to swing for 3 to deny uh, Warlock's fearless tapping. That's just bad and greedy. So Loot Hoarder tells me it's patron.
Let the pain speak to me.
Still, he doesn't want to swing. So basically, if I don't draw anything good, then he goes unpunished. But normally, if I play my other decks, there's a very high chance that he would have been punished. Um, I don't know if I overtapped. I think I did. I just did.
Armor made to fit.
Yeah, I think I did. Ouch. Oh well. At least I have my Lotheb. Lotheb is a nice way to go here because he might just, try to get cards since I'm not giving him any. So Lotheb kinda, you know, forces him to trade things in. Oh boy. So not only he's gonna get cards now, he's gonna try to ramp up the Frothing on his own. And yeah, it sucks that I only have Dark Bomb and no Coil. Uh, and my BGH isn't here yet. But if I do get my BGH, then this line of play of his isn't gonna be too good for him. Nope. Topdecks BGH. Thank you. That saved me a lot of damage. I mean, that saved me in a sense that I would have lost the game right there and then. Um, but it is to be expected that at some point, due to my over tapping, uh, I do have a high chance of drawing my Coil or my BGH. So here I'll just try to reduce some cards. cost of my cards, because uh, at this point he is getting to the point where he's going to try to multiply patrons, and of course the way that I play is that I force my opponent to basically spawn his own patrons rather than me giving minions and letting him spawn. And that's the handlock way. The handlock way is not to let your opponent you know get patrons from your uh, creatures, unless he plays commanding shout, like I said. Ooh, yeah, I shouldn't have tapped last there, but um, it's not good to force myself to heal after a tap there. But of course, it would have saved me, 1 damage on the anti-heal bot. But at the same time, damaging my anti-heal bot means that he cannot slam it for a draw. So in a way, it was intentional, but it shouldn't be. So here I'm dropping another creature, which means that it can help his slam, which I previously mentioned. Now it doesn't work out that way, but if anything, oh well. So here I have all creatures that are like, 3 damage and up, so he has to spawn his own patrons. Uh, and I have the Sea Giant Shadowflame to counter this, but he decided to just clear it all with his patrons. He didn't want to attack face. I mean, in the end, I would kill everything of his anyway, so he wanted to make sure that I can't clear things. Drawing that owl's nice. Because I cannot immediately kill the war song. Uh, I mean, I could have facelessed it and you know drop something else and kill it, but like that one. But I just didn't want to faceless. I want to faceless something more um, important. So I could have killed that war song and taken a war song if I wanted to, but I chose not to do so. So here comes the second second patron, uh, and here this is where I was talking about. So basically, I forced him to spend all his resources to spawn his own patrons. But I do have my Sea Giant Shadowflame ready to go. Uh, if he clears my Void Caller here, which um, he most likely would, but he has to spend an Execute or another weapon. So he's deciding. Yeah, he's scared of Shadowflame. Unfortunately, my hand, I didn't have a demon. Topdeck Hellfire is nice. I think I'll just use it. Even though I could have done my Sea Giant Shadowflame there, but I decided to keep it because he still has 1 Frothing, and Hellfire is only 3 damage and not 4. So the second Frothing I would have trouble, and also the Thaurissan, I wouldn't be able to kill a Thaurissan if I didn't keep my Shadowflame. So it is important that I play in the right way. And now that he has limited cards, I should use my second silence just to eliminate more cards. Unfortunately, I didn't look at my mana, and I mean, I wanted to, value a faceless Thaurissan, but unfortunately, I cannot. So I most likely will have to autoplay the same thing that I was doing, which is to taunt up both cards, both minions on the board. And this is where the Patron Warrior starts to run out of cards and has to, you know, play in a fashion where he hopes to get more cards. So this is the kind of thing that I like to do to my opponents, is to make them run out of gas. It is a very old school way. So here, this is where I will do my clear with the Sea Giant because of the lack of creatures. I wouldn't want to use my Molten. Uh, I mean, I don't think my Molten was at the right cost anyway, but either way, I could have waited for one more turn before I did it, but I didn't want to take that much damage. So here comes the valueless Battle Rage for one. This is the kind of like I interrupted myself earlier. Basically, I love to cause my opponent to run out of cards. I mean, it is the oldest way of playing the game because a lot of people rely on card draw, and you force them to play card draw. So here, my Molten's free. So and then I should coil this anyway, and I happen to get my second Molten, which is great. And then I can taunt them up and heal myself. So this basically secures my win because he has to face tank. Thank you for watching.